Nigerians and Nigeria. The statement adds that as part of activities commemorating the second year of the Buhari-led administration, a presidential-level report card event on the social investment programs of the presidency would hold at Aso Rock on May 29. The Defense Headquarters has refuted allegations of corruption leveled against the military by Transparency International, describing them as baseless and an effort by a fifth columnist to truncate successes recorded by the military both at home and in the international fora. Director of Defense Information, Major General John NTA, said this on Good Morning Nigeria while analyzing the Transparency International report. Critically looked at the report, he is of the view that the report neither reflects nor captures present military officials. The defense spokesperson faulted the procedure for arriving at such conclusion, which is said is geared towards undermining the military.
This is blank report, and I suspect that it must have been done with ulterior motive on both sides. And Transparency International will also have to be careful.
While cautioning Transparency International to beware of persons with hidden motives using their platform to incite and elicit wrong reactions, General Eneche said the military remains focused on its constitutional responsibility of protecting Nigeria's territorial integrity.
Seen it, provision of everything that, to a large extent that we require in the fronts, and that is why our morals are high. You talk about procurement, established at all levels of the armed forces now. We have branches established from defense headquarters right to the Air Force headquarters, and we follow Bureau for Public Procurement procedure.
He said the military is totally loyal to the present administration, but said erring officers, if any, will not be spared. For about 3 years, parents and relatives of about 300 abducted female students from a government secondary school in the town of Chibok, northeast Nigeria, were in pain and agony following uncertainty on the whereabouts of their daughters and wards. As an adage says, a dead child is better than a missing one. Investigation shows that some did not live to see the release of their daughters. Subsequently, parents of the rescued 82 girls could not hide their joy as they set their eyes on their children. Adebola Brooklyn Sunday was there.
For several minutes, the girls were on the dance floor in appreciation to God and the federal government who facilitated their rescue. Parents of the girls traveled about 900 kilometers, a journey of over 11 hours from Chibok to the Federal Capital Territory, where the girls are being profiled, counseled, and rehabilitated. As both the earlier rescued 21 girls and the 82, including the first escapee, Amina Ali, sighted the buses. With excitement, tears of joy, they rushed at their parents, who barely wait for the vehicle to stop before jumping out. Fathers grabbed their daughters while mothers were consoling them, with some trying to tell their stories. Some of the girls who are still undergoing medical treatment and their parents could not join in the celebration. One of them is Anatu Stephen, whose leg was amputated. She was being encouraged by a caregiver during the celebration. About 4 of the girls who are now nursing mothers also rejoiced alongside their mates. Some of the parents who thanked President Buhari for his determination to rescue their daughters said for 3 years they waited with high hope that this day will come, and their hope was not in vain.
It's not 3 days. It's not 3 months. Today, it has come to pass. Our prayers, God has answered us.
I really thank Jesus Christ. May he see those who are still in captivity to come back as my daughter come.
There's
nothing prayers cannot do. Let's intensify our prayers. Negotiation will be concluded and the others will come.
The girls are expected to remain in the medical facility until certified by their caregivers for the next line of action, with assurance by the federal government to give them the education that was stolen from them by Boko Haram. Adebola, Brooksland Sunday, NTA News.
The federal government has distributed relief materials to victims of armed banditry and cattle rustling in Zamfara State. The materials were formally received by the State Governor Abdulaziz Yari from the Federal Commissioner, National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons, Sadia Umar Farouk. Haliru Muhammad Umar reports.
It could be recalled that some parts of Zamfara State had in recent time experienced a series of armed bandit attacks and cases of cattle rustling, which resulted to destruction of many lives and property, as well as made several persons internally displaced. This prompted the federal government, through the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons, to provide relief materials to the victims with a view to cushioning the effect of the unfortunate calamities. Speaking during the distribution ceremony, Zamfara State Governor Alhaji Abdulaziz Yari Abubakar expressed appreciation to the federal government for responding to the plight of the people. Federal Commissioner, National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons, Hajia Sadia Umar Farouk, reaffirmed the Commission's commitment to finding best solutions for individuals, families and communities displaced by conflict and other disasters. Some of the beneficiaries who spoke to NTA News expressed gratitude to the federal government for the gesture. From Gusau, Halliru Muhammad Umar, NTA News.
And now to some security stories. The Nigeria Police says the Police Trust Fund Bill before the National Assembly, if passed into law, will address the operational challenges of the force. Deputy Inspector General of Police Logistics and Supply, Megari Abadiko, stated this while addressing officers and men of the Jigawa State Command. Habibu Hussein has more.
The DIG on assessment visit aimed at ensuring compliance with the Inspector General's mandate on community policing. He said community policing is a model that will help in checking crime and criminality, urging all stakeholders to support the police to discharge their duties diligently.
He told the nation he intended to lead the police to police the country in accordance with international best practices.
DIG Diko, however, appealed to National Assembly to fund the Police Trust Fund Bill to help address the challenge of funding.
We believe that if we can get this, it will even have less pressure on the government.
Commissioner of Police Jigawa State, Rashid Olatunde Akintunde, said the command recorded a lot of successes by adopting community-based approach introduced by the Inspector General. He appealed for the construction of police barrack in Dutse to tackle accommodation challenge officers and men of the command are facing.
It is strongly believed that Jigawa State is politically peaceful as crime and criminality are at its barest minimum.
The commissioner said the command will not relent in its effort to ensure a crime-free society. From Dutse, Habib Hussein, NTA News.
Meanwhile, a Deputy Inspector General of Police supervising the North Central Zone, DIG Shoaibu Lawal Gambo, says the Nigeria Police Force is looking forward to recruiting 30,000 officers and men annually towards addressing the issue of inadequate manpower in the force. DIG Shoaibu Lawal Gambo disclosed this to interested groups when he visited the FCT Police Command. Ifoma Ojinta reports.
noting that security is everybody's business, DIG Shuaibullah Walgambo assured all that the welfare of officers and men of the police force and the safety of Nigerians is of paramount importance to the Inspector General of Police, who he says is working round the clock to ensure that every Nigerian sleep with their eyes closed.
The Nigerian police today is inadequately funded, and in terms of the population, it is highly inadequate. However, we have taken the first step, and the first step is the 10,000 recruitment that we have just concluded.
The visit provided opportunity for the FCT Police Commissioner Musa Kimo and other stakeholders to raise issues ranging from lack of adequate armory, inadequate manpower, to police community relations.
The commander has 31 divisions and 104 outposts without corresponding manpower to man them in line with the increasing population of the FCT.
The visit, according to the DIG, is in line with the directive of the Inspector General of Police, Ibrahim Idris, to all DIGs in charge of the 6 geopolitical zones to meet with stakeholders in policing and get first-hand information, contribution, as well as commendation, all geared towards effective policing. In Abuja, Ifoma Ojinta, NTA News.
Speaker House of Representatives Yakubu Dogara says wealth creation is a potent tool which could be employed to facilitate rapid socio-economic development and self-sufficiency in the country. The Speaker stated this in Kaba, Kogi State, while presenting empowerment materials at the instance of Representative Tajuddin Yusuf of Kaba, Bunu Ijumu Federal Constituency. Rotimi Ebu reports.
For about 6 years ago, Tajuddin Yusuf of Kababono and Ijumu Federal Constituency had been making positive impacts through execution of people-oriented projects and presentation of empowerment materials. It was another moment of excitement for people of the constituency as the Speaker of House of Representatives Yakubu Dogara, in company of some House members, stormed Kaba for this year's edition of the initiative. In addition to presentation of empowerment materials, the Speaker, at the instance of Tajuddin Yusuf, commissioned a skills acquisition center at Iyara Jumu.
I want to thank the honorable member for his foresight in providing tools, not money, tools that we can use in creating wealth.
When the people are endowed, the nation is endowed. So my motivation is to see how our people begin to put their hand to work.
He loves his people and he's been representing them well.
What he's doing today is part of giving back to his people the dividends of democracy.
He has always made us very proud.
The Speaker, who had earlier visited the palace of Oba Dofin of Oweland, Oba Michael Yusuf, said machinery had been set in motion for constitutional amendment with inclusion of the role of traditional rulers. From Kaba, Kogi State, Rotimi, NTA News.
Update on EFCC and Dame Patience Jonathan's case in Lagos. As we join Ademola for this and more reports from that axis. Hello, Ademola. It's over to you.
Hello, Phil. Good to see you. Good afternoon and warm welcome to Lagos. The Federal High Court sitting in Lagos has adjourned till 20th September the hearing on the final forfeiture of $5.8 million belonging to former First Lady Dame Patience Jonathan. At the resumed hearing, Justice Cecilia Olatoregun adjourned the matter following the submission of the Defense Counsel that the appeal court has slated 5th July to hear the matter. At the resumed hearing, counsel to Patience Jonathan, Mike Ozakume, SAN, argued that once a party in a matter has filed an appeal, the record is transferred. It would be wrong for the lower court to entertain the case. The lower court, he continued, should hands off and not have future jurisdiction on the matter. He proceeded that if the court continues to hear the case that is before the appellate court, it will amount to embarking on illegal judicial voyage.
How do you forfeit a citizen's property contrary to the
Associations have been described as crucial entities in the marketing of educational institutions and for promoting the best interest of their alma mater, including the education sector at large. These were the views of speakers at an award program organized by the Okrika Grammar School Old Boys Association in Lagos. Ken Igbeluhe has the report.
The importance of alumni associations in helping to improve educational standards in the country cannot be overemphasized. This is because they are closer to the schools and they know the problems of their alma maters. They also engender a spirit of belonging and unity, a necessary element in surmounting the difficult challenges facing the education sector in the country. Speakers at the event are of the opinion that alumni associations should play a vital role in providing financial assistance to their alma maters, since governments cannot do it alone.
We run projects that impact on the schools. Okay, for example, we're building a multi-purpose hall in the school. We have a scholarship scheme for students who are unable to pay their fees.
Awards were presented to some distinguished old boy of Okrika Grammar School. Those honored include former Director General, Nigerian Television Authority, Engineer Shingu Wingwe, and Henry Seminitari.
I must do all within my power to ensure I add value to that school.
We're doing a whole lot in collaboration with the state government as well in getting the school sustain its values in its academic excellence.
Okrika Grammar School Old Boys Association was established several years ago. The association contributes their knowledge in specialized area of expertise and experience necessary for improvement of education in their alma mater. In Lagos, Ken Igbeluge, NTA News.
Christians across Nigeria have been challenged to take up the mantle of soul winning through effective evangelism. This was the crux of this year's Evangelism and Fire Conference, organized by the Global Outreach Day in Lagos. Rotimi Oluwagbemi compiled this report.
Christians leaders from various denominations and prominent Nigerians gathered to champion a cause that will take the gospel of Jesus Christ to the next level in Nigeria. With the theme, Launch Out and Let Down Your Net, the national coordinator of the Global Outreach Day in Nigeria, Evangelist Ogwazi Onyemobi, says the program is in line with the Great Commission of Jesus Christ to his disciples, which is to go out and preach the gospel.
Every life that someone lives in this world is out of the mercy and the grace of God, to use that opportunity to find the way of true life and salvation.
The event witnessed the inauguration of the National Advisory Board of Global Outreach Day Nigeria. Some distinguished Nigerians bear their minds on the program.
The outreach is to remind people of the Word of God and of the expectations of God, so that we can be able to have a country, a world that will be pleasing to God.
The only way we can overcome corruption is change the mind.
Unless we move out in evangelism and go reach all areas as God directed, we will be delaying his coming.
The event also featured praise and worship session and a playlet to further drive home the theme of the event. Global Outreach Day Nigeria is a non-denominational Christian movement.
Star Times President Pang Xingxin led the stream of speeches from Chinese government representatives and experts in the digital field. Minister of Information, Culture and Tourism Lai Mohammed focused on the digital economy with emphasis on the animation industry. He said Nigeria needs to look at her areas of advantage and drive the economy from there.
Believe me, if we look at the digital economy today, in the area of film industry, in the area of animation, especially, be able to grow the contribution of the creative industry to our GDP to up about 10%. Nigeria is already the third biggest country in terms of production. I'm talking about our film industry. Now, which means we already have a rich content. We already have a platform. We only need to deepen it more.
As more speakers explored ways to facilitate cooperation and digitization of Africa with China's support, the minister said China and Africa must work together at all levels. He called on Star Times to work more closely with the relevant Nigerian authorities for a win-win outcome. The China-Africa Digital TV Development Seminar has been organized and sponsored by the Star Times Group since 2011. From Beijing, China, Julieta Aino, NTA News.
Has sufficed for more than 6 years. But in less than 1 year in office, the Council, in conjunction with Satellite Town Development Agency, succeeded in turning the mountain to a playing ground.
In their goodwill messages, they urged the FCT minister to come to the aid of the 6th Area Council in time of bailouts. High point of the town hall meeting was the commissioning of the Kubwa Chief Palace in Abuja. Hawa Gimba, NTA News.
Officers and men of the Nigerian police force tasked to scale up intelligence. We now join Charles in our Makurdi studio as he gives us details of this and more.
Thank you, Phil, and welcome to Makurdi, a program geared towards empowering young girls in skills acquisition and values that will enable them to make informed decisions has been launched in Makurdi. Blessing Omeche Ebute reports that the event was at the instance of the Center for Integrated Health Program, CIHP, which focuses on comprehensive HIV and AIDS care and treatment.
Research provided by the National Agency for the Control of AIDS, NACA, shows that young girls between the ages of 15 to 19 have a higher HIV prevalence and are infected earlier in life than men of same age group. This can be attributed to the
sections of the society to halt the wanton loss of lives and destruction of property. This position was put forward by a coalition of non-governmental organizations during an interactive session in Jalingo. Christy Ayagwa Adaji reports.
Only recently, the ugly clash between farmers and grazers broke out in parts of Usa and Taku local government areas, with 5 persons confirmed to have been killed, several animals and houses destroyed. The deployment of security operatives to the areas and shipment of relief materials by the state government have helped in restoring normalcy, even as engagement with the stakeholders on the need for lasting solutions continue. Against this background, the spokesman of the coalition of non-governmental organizations, Mr. Dennis Shima, said after traveling through the length and breadth of the state to evaluate its state of affairs, they are of the opinion that the government and stakeholders' initiatives need to be supported by the citizens. He said they have observed conscious and purposeful efforts to meet needs in communities across the state by the government. The special advisor to Governor Darius Dixon Ishaku on revenue matters, Tininga Binga, who responded to the points raised by the group, said the government will act on their recommendations. In Jalingo, Christy Ayagwa Adaji, NTA News.
A report from the security. Phil, is back to you.
Thank you, Charles in Makurdi. Now, you can watch this news live online via the NTA mobile app, which you can download on your Android device at the Google Play Store or at the Apple Store if you use devices with iOS. We'll pause for some messages now. Nationwide returns shortly. Stay with us.
From what we have seen, we have the capacity which we can rapidly develop or feed in ourselves. If we don't import rice, we stop importing corn and other grains, Nigeria will have plenty of money to invest into developing industries, especially manufacturing, textiles and so on, and develop iron and steel, and complement the infrastructure development. So really, the opportunities are virtually limitless, and we are very, very aware of this, and we are prepared to exploit it to the fullest.
Boosting agricultural production, the thrust of the Buhari administration. How far? That's the focus on NTA Tuesday Live. We x-ray the gains and challenges in the sector. NTA Tuesday Live. Incisive, educative, and informative. Join us.
TV Guide magazine is out with fabulous Fab Funke Akindele Bello, aka Jennifer, adorning the cover. She opens a secret not known even to her family. Find out the secret. NTA turns 40 this year. The challenges, the emerging trends in broadcasting, and the way forward. Weekend Dealer 2. Meet the team behind the biggest deal on NTA. Is food still the way to a man's heart? If not, what else? This edition is hot and juicy. Meet your star faces on screen. Entertainment, fashion, young minds, social media, and great personality.
This is idiosyncratic and heterodox.
Yes, Professor John Bull is on the radar. Find out what makes this program the rave of the moment on NTA Network, and for the prof,
over and out.
TV Guide. Ask your vendors or book your copy at every NTA station nationwide. TV Guide, still your indispensable companion.
The food is a well-balanced diet food because carbohydrate is there, protein is there, fruits is there. Earth-wisely, it will help the puppies to grow very well. Even if they are not able to get anything of such in their different homes, the one they take into school, it will help them a lot. We thank the government for even having this type of a program in mind, and they executed it very well. God will help them.
Admission forms for the 2017-2018 academic session of NTA Television College JAWS into its diploma programs are now on sale. The diploma programs are in film and TV production, broadcast journalism, and TV engineering technology. Applicants are required to have at least 5 credits, including English language and mathematics at SSC, NECO, or GCO levels in not more than 1 sitting. Application forms can be obtained from the TV College Refi JAWS or at any NTA zonal centers nationwide on payment of a no-refundable fee of 7,500 naira in bank draft in favor of NTA Television College. Completed application forms should be returned to the Office of the Academic Secretary, NTA Television College, or the Center of Purchase on or before 28th of July 2017. For further inquiries, please call 0806 980 9807 or 0703 660 7155. NTA Television College, training you to be the best you can be.
The StarTimes Combo Decoder is here for you. An advanced technology from StarTimes that combines the dish and antenna both in one decoder. This decoder is packed with all your favorite news and entertainment channels like Fox, Fox Life, IDX, National Geographic Channel, Star Plus, BBC, Al Jazeera, POP, live matches on ST World Football, and over 120 exciting channels. Get the StarTimes Combo Decoder for just 13,900 naira and enjoy great entertainment for the entire family. So, go ahead, eat your cake and have it with the StarTimes Combo Decoder. StarTimes. Enjoy digital life.
This is television reborn. Enjoy more than 200 channels. No decoder needed. The real digital TV is here. StarTimes Digital TVs.
Thanks for staying with us. Sensitization of Kwara State intending pilgrims for Hajj operations. Details of this and more with Kemi in our Ibadan Network Center. Good afternoon, Kemi. Take it away.
Good afternoon, Phil, and welcome to Ibadan.
Oyo State government has inaugurated a 7-man judicial commission to review the Olubadan chieftaincy declaration and other related chieftaincies in Ibadan land. Correspondent Adebola Ogulano reports that the commission has been given 4 weeks to submit its report.
The commission, headed by a retired High Court judge, Justice Akintunde Boade, is saddled with the responsibility of reviewing the existing requirements and qualifications for ascendancy to the throne of Olubadan, as well as to review the selection process of Olubadan from Otun and Balogun lines. Governor Abiola Ajimobi said the review was long overdue, considering the fact that the existing declaration made in 1957 was no longer in tune with the current reality and modern trend in Yoruba land.
It was also discovered that the only beaded crown-wearing Oba in Ibadan land is the Olubadan of Ibadan land. This is not in line with the current realities vis-a-vis the huge population of Ibadan land.
The commission is to facilitate the development, modernization, and effectiveness of the traditional chieftaincy system in Ibadan land. In Ibadan, Adebola Ogunlano, NTA News.
As part of efforts at promoting knowledge of information and communication technology in Nigeria, 20 public school students in Osun State are undergoing ICT training. Correspondent Olabode Arewa says the training is facilitated by the United States Embassy's International Educational Exchange Program.
Over the years, United States Department of State has facilitated education exchange programs for many Nigerians. Some of them have made significant contributions to their community upon their return to Nigeria. Here in Osun, a group of alumni under the program facilitated an 8-week ICT training program for 20 students drawn from 4 public schools.
So by the time you do this to the student, you are preparing them for the future.
The Counselor, Public Affairs of the United States Embassy in Nigeria, Mr. Aruna Amir Tanayagamu, says America places great premium on community service. Hence, she continues to encourage leadership and educational exchange with partner nations for community leadership.
We sponsor some exchange programs for high school, secondary school youth. I believe we can get more information on our website about those programs, and all of these areas are critical, in terms of the infrastructure, so that the next generation in Nigeria can continue to thrive.
Highlight of the event was inauguration of an alumni chapter in Osun to enable Osun indigenes benefit more from the gesture. In Osogbo, Olabode, NTA News.
2017 intending programs to Saudi Arabia from Kwara State have been enjoined to be good ambassadors of the state and the country. A Qadi at the State Sharia Court of Appeal, Justice Abdulatif Kamaldeen, gave the advice at a sensitization program for the programs. Abdulwahid Bibiri reports.
Sensitizing the intending pilgrims on Hajj rites and what is expected of pilgrims while in the Holy Land, a Qadi from the Kwara State Sharia Court of Appeal, Ilorin, Justice Abdulatif Kamaldeen said, performing Hajj is one of the pillars of Islam. He also lectured the intended pilgrims on the rules and regulations of the host country. The program featured practical demonstration on how to perform tawaf and classification of items regarded as contraband goods. The Executive Secretary of the Kwara State Muslim Pilgrims Welfare Board, Muhammad Tunde Jimoh, said the program seeks to address salient issues on how to achieve a successful 2017 Hajj exercise.
The program is expected to address basic knowledge on Hajj rites, the general conduct of pilgrims, both in Nigeria and in Saudi Arabia.
Some of the intended pilgrims described the program as very educative.
Because most people that doesn't understand what we are going to do there, we understand very well and we appreciate it.
It is needed at this hour.
The sensitization program was well attended by the intended pilgrims from across the state. Abdulwahid Bibiri, NTA News.
That's it from Ibadan. It's back to you, Phil.
Many thanks, Kemi, in Ibadan Network Center. Now, the proposed transport sector reform bill, experts say, if signed into law, will serve as a one-stop shop for transport regulation and coordination in Nigeria. This was the view of guests on Good Morning Nigeria while discussing the transport sector reform bills. Lydia Sampson has the report.
Transportation plays a key role in the socio-economic development of any nation. To this end, government takes necessary steps to drive the sector. It is in line with this that the National Assembly is considering pieces of legislation aimed at providing regulatory framework for the transport sector. Guests on Good Morning Nigeria say, if properly harnessed, the transport sector can be bigger than the oil and gas sector in terms of revenue generation. They say lack of coordination and regulation has resulted in the sector losing billions of naira annually. The proposed transport bill is geared towards changing the narrative and ensuring cohesion in the sector.
We could not, because the previous governments failed to do things right, not improve our laws to bring them to the best international standards, so that if somebody abandons his duty to see where he can extort money, there are also provisions in the law to checkmate him.
The guys described the bill as good development, pointing out that it will be a win-win situation for the country.
Safety regulatory aspects of the NCAA, if subsumed into the NTC in accordance with international conventions, will obviously have to go through an improved process, because if you're looking for real independence of a regulator, all the decisions of the regulator must be independent and does not have to go through any minister.
It is about robust and effective regulation. One, it gives confidence to investors that the rules by which the game will be played is clear. It also gives them the confidence that the person who will be regulating is identifiable.
The bill has already been passed by the House of Representatives and forwarded to the Senate for concurrence. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
Report on NTA pre-Ramadan lecture in Jos, plus update on voters' registration. These stories and more as we join Shehu in our Jos Network Center. Hello, Shehu. It's over now to you.
Welcome to Jos. Parental obligation in Islam has been described as an important duty bestowed on parents to ensure proper upbringing of their children from the tender age. This was made known during the 8th annual Ramadan lecture organized by NTA Network Center Jos. Ruth Stephen Hockey takes it from here.
The essence of life, scholars say, is for the worship of Allah. Thus, the Ramadan period is said to be a time for total devotion to the worship of Allah. It is a period that the Muslim faithful look forward to, as it avails them the opportunity to purify their hearts. Retired AIG Hamisu Ali Jos, who chaired the occasion, enjoined the Ummah to seize the Ramadan period to seek forgiveness and obtain Allah's blessings. Ustaz Muhammad Hasir Saidu spoke extensively on the topic parental obligation in Islam. He said parents, as custodians of their children, are saddled with the responsibility of ensuring their welfare and well-being in whole.
Whenever Allah's subhanahu is mentioning issues that have to do with duty, to be dutiful to him, he mentioned not to associate partners and then to be kind to the parents. This is something very, very important.
Speakers took turns to highlight expectations of parents and their children.
Most of the women here are people that require special attention. And for the fact that NTA has carried them along with them by employing interpreters. So these interpreters gathered all these people here. Perhaps this is the only opportunity they have.
We have committed sin for the past 11th month. These are the opportunity for us now to go to Allah. Allah. All the sin we have committed, this is time for us to seek forgiveness.
The event featured donations and goodwill messages from individuals and groups. With Stephen Hoti, NTA News.
Hunters have been urged to assist security personnel in community policing and synergize with the police to fight the menace of crime in the society. Plateau State Commissioner of Police Peter Ogunyango said this at a capacity building workshop for hunters held at the Azinyako Youth Center, Jos. Ijoma Ozomina reports.
The capacity building workshop for the hunters dwelt on peace building among herdsmen and farmers in all states of the country. It also seeks to enlighten farmers on rights and limitations of their rights, taking into cognizance relationship between the police and hunters. The meeting also tackled bushfire as it affects the landscape and quality of the soil, which can cause erosion. The Police Public Relations Officer, Assistant Superintendent of Police, Tiopev Matthias Tena, who represented the State Commissioner of Police, urged hunters to serve as security officers and live in peace with one another around their various communities.
The hunter knows not only his own immediate environment, he knows what happens in the bush. He knows the footmarks or footprints of different animals. And if there is a foreigner or any foreign animal in the bush, the hunter knows.
The Commander Plateau State Hunters Association, Igem Lanta, said the event is to create awareness of existence of hunters and their responsibility in the state.
We teach our members that when they get this information, they should relate it well to the appropriate quarters so that peace will be maintained in our society.
The question and answer session addressed logistics, which is hampering the activities of hunters, and the workshop had in attendance hunters from Kaduna, Nasarawa and Plateau at the 2 days event. In Jos, Ijoma Ozemena, NTA News.
And that's it from Jos. Phil is all yours now.
Thank you, Sheo. A report just reaching us indicates that the Nigerian Air Force has commenced the trial of an aircraft man, Kalu Bernard Ayomide, alleged to have murdered an aircraft woman, Oladipo Sholakbe Dorcas, at the Nigerian Air Force Base Makurdi on 12th March 2017. At the inauguration of the court-martial, the President, Group Captain Elisha Philip Bindu, read out the ground rules of the court and charges against the accused, who pleaded not guilty. The case has been adjourned to 2nd of June 2017 for the continuation of the trial. United States President Donald Trump in Israel visits Western Wall as he continues his first foreign trip. Let's join Gabriel Odu on Global Tidbits.
President Donald Trump has held talks with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, saying it is a rare opportunity to be in Israel. President Trump is hopeful that peace is possible between Israel and Palestine, describing it as the biggest deal. President Trump also visited Western Wall, first United States president to do so. However, in Turkey, more than 221 coup suspects, including top military brass, are facing trial at the prison complex near Ankara. The number one suspect, the Muslim cleric Fethullah Gulen, is still in the United States and has denied any involvement. Researchers from the Norwegian Refugee Council say the number of people displaced by conflict in the Democratic Republic of Congo last year was higher than that of Syria or Iraq. The Norwegian Refugee Council's Internal Displacement Monitoring Center gave the figure thus: DR Congo 922,000, Syria 824,000, and Iraq 659,000. That's Global Tidbit. Gabriel Udu, NTA News.
Former Edo State Sports Commissioner Brown Ebiwele, elected into the Board of Athletes Federation of Nigeria as winner, emerges for the 2017 inaugural golf tournament of IBB International Golf and Country Club Abuja. Dende Sani tells us more on Sports Update.
The election for technical officials and coaches to get one representative in the yet-to-be-constituted board of the Athletics Federation of Nigeria took place in Abuja Monday, with former Edo State Sports Commissioner Brown Ebiwele elected. He polled 31 votes, beating 3 other contestants.
Hope is back to athletics in Nigeria, and we will work very hard to make sure that is established. We are going to make sure all the quality coaches, all the veteran coaches that have been sidelined for a very long time because they don't know how to bootlick are brought on board.
About 65 delegates from 36 states of the Federation and FCT voted in the election. Gracie Humphrey, the new lady captain of IBB International Golf and Country Club, Abuja, has won her own inaugural tournament, emerging the overall best net. The 52-year-old golfer, who played in Handicap 14, recorded a gross score of 85 and 71 net to emerge winner. Clement Olorontoba reports that Adekunbi Usman scored 76 to finish second.
It's a double celebration. It's a lot doing because I don't know how I played today because I've been under a lot of pressure trying to make sure this event, turns out successful.
American-born Nigerian basketballer Ekpe Udoh has been voted the most valuable player of the 2017 EuroLeague Basketball Final Four. Udoh led his team, Fenerbahce Istanbul, to his first ever EuroLeague crown in an 80-64 points victory over Olympiacos at the Sinam Erdem Dome by dominating both ends of the floor. With Sport Update, Dainde Sani, NTA News.
And just before we go, a reminder that you can watch all our stories and much more when you log on to our website, www.nta.ng. And that's NTA Nationwide. We thank you for watching. Enjoy the rest of the day.